Okay, another example for questions 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you get a frequency table, and then question 3, you have to answer all this stuff over here. Question 4, you have to answer this. Question 5, you have to make a histogram. Okay, and when you're doing this, if you want to kind of, you're sending me your version of the exam, and you take a picture, you might want to arrange it some way where it's all squeezed onto the same thing. You don't have to keep recopying the frequency table every time you start in a new problem. You can just start by filling in the cumulative and relative and then go back and get those. Okay. Let's start with width. So we're starting with question 3, really. Width from the beginning of one to the beginning of the next. You don't want to accidentally go sideways here because that would be a distance of 3. It's from the beginning of one to the beginning of the next. That's a distance of 4 or 4 or 4. I don't even have to write it down a bunch of times. It's just 4. You could look at any one of those. 5 minus 1 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. 13 minus 9 is 4. Midpoints. The midpoints are usually really easy because if somewhere before this semester even started, someone came up to you and said, quick, think of a number between 4 and 5. You'd be like, 4.5? I mean, if it's got to be between 4 and 5, you know the halfway point is 4.5. Oh, that's on boundaries. Sorry. Okay, on boundaries, it's easy. So let me sort of re-say that. This stuff here, we'll go back to midpoints. The midpoints is usually an ordeal calculation, but the boundaries is usually really easy because think of a number between 4 and 5. Okay, I got one. It's 4.5. Think of a number between 8 and 9. Oh, well, how about 8.5? Think of a number between 12 and 13. Oh, how about 12.5? So the boundaries are usually really easy because it's always usually smack dab in between the two integers they've got right there. So you just go with the 0.5. And then there's like this weird thing where you want to put one right at the end. I know if I'm jumping up by the width every time, it's going to be at 16.5 just to follow the pattern. Okay, it's the one that sits right there. It's kind of a boundary. It's that last fence line before you end up, outside of the problem. But there'd also be a fence up here, which is why we did that weird subtraction thing on the homework. Go back to the first one and go backwards. I've been going up by 4, 4.5, 8.5, 12.5, 16.5. Go backwards and 0.5. All right, now that takes care of the boundaries. Go back to the midpoints. The midpoints involve a calculation. Usually it's just any two numbers. Quick, think of a number between 1 and 4. I'm like, 2? No, it's got to be the number exactly halfway between them. So I'm going to have to do the calculation. So I'm going to have to go 1 plus 4 divided by 2. So that's 5 divided by 2. That's 2.5. Okay. And it's got to be the calculation. I wouldn't have thought of 2.5. I'd have been 2, 3. I don't know. Okay. So I go ahead and do the calculation. And you could do the one. Quick, a number between 5 and 8. Again, I don't know. 5 plus 8 divided by 2. That's 13 divided by 2. So that's like 6.5. Okay, and they're going up by 4. We can see the pattern. The next one will be 10.5, and the next one will be 14.5. And the midpoints do not have any spares stuck onto the beginning or the end. So there's 4 midpoints and 5 boundaries. All right, now cumulative. Things are accumulating. The first one is just whatever this number is, goes right there. The second one, I add these two numbers together. 3 plus 10, so I write 13 here. Then I add these 3 numbers together. 3 plus 10 plus 4, so that's 17. And then I add all of the numbers together. 3 plus 10 plus 4 plus 3, 20. Okay, cumulative for accumulate. Relative, that's where the percents go. Let's give you some of this other stuff. You don't need to show me your addition. Relative is division problems. And then I change my division problems from decimals into percents. And the denominator, that's why it's good to do the cumulative first, the denominator is whatever the total of everything is. And then I just make sure to go back to this column. 3 divided by 20 in my calculator. 0.15, 15%. These ones don't even have any rounding on them. So 10 divided by 20. This is where I accidentally make a mistake and go 13 divided by 20. No, go all the way back to here. 10 divided by 20, 0.5, 50%. 4 divided by 20. Okay, so that's 20%. Comes out as 0.2. So 20%. 3 divided by 20 is 15% again. Now I left the midpoints up there because I'm about to use them. I have to make a histogram. And the way to make a histogram is to see how many classes or how many midpoints. I got 4 midpoints, and I just start by putting 4 marks down here. Okay. And then I see how tall I'm going to have to make it. Again, forget you've ever did cumulative or relative. Keep going back to the frequency column. I need to make it at least as tall as 10. Okay. And boundaries I've already erased that. I'm definitely not using that for anything. Midpoints, I'm not going to use it right now. I'm just going to go ahead and draw the picture. I'll label it later. Okay, so I need to make a height 3. Height 10. Height 4. And height 3. Okay, and it's not the best. I didn't get out a straight edge and draw with a straight edge. I didn't go and use, I mean, you could use Excel. The problem with Excel is it loves to do them as bar charts. Okay, so when you're doing it on the exam, I'm going to check to make sure that you smooshed them up against each other, otherwise you made a bar chart. And I'm going to make sure that you labeled it with the midpoints, because that's the official book way of doing something. And then don't ever label anything with midpoints ever again, because it looks really weird. Okay, so you got all your heights correct. You didn't accidentally use the cumulatives. You got it labeled with the midpoints. You got them smooshed together. And I might as well label the X and Y axis as well.